I want to thank everybody for coming to the China Webb, excuse me, August regular meeting. Thank everyone for coming. Please sign in. Turn off your cell phones. The next regular meeting will be on September 10th at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. September audit of claims meetings will be held on the first Tuesday, September 3rd at 5:30 due to the Labor Day holiday. Executive session may occur this evening if deemed necessary. The board received a letter of resignation from Leonard Dillenbeck effective July 31st, 2024. Thank you for your years of service. The board received a letter of resignation from data collector Norm Skiana effective August 16th. Thank you, Norm, for your 1 year of service. The board received a thank you from Fulton Chain Rendezvous for helping with the 32nd annual event. It was a huge success. We received a last minute letter from a concerned citizen about the unjustified harassing and tormenting of our bears. The clerk received a petition to encourage the board to pass a new law stating it's illegal to feed the wildlife, including a fine. There were 95 on that petition. This evening we have Don Andrews here. He's going to speak to us for a few minutes. He will talk to us about, he's here from the Loon Conservation. He's going to go to a rescue right after this, so he's going to be here for a short time. But he has some insight on bears that he would like to present to us. Thank you very much, Don.
Thank you, Bonnie. I'll tell you right now, I am not a public speaker, so if I get some names mixed up, please forgive me. As she's mentioned, I work for the Adirondack Center for Loon Conservation, and we'll be stepping out after I'm done. But I wanted to, there's a lot of emotion around what happened recently with our bears. And I'm here tonight, not to point fingers or to lay blame, but to maybe offer some suggestions about what we can do moving forward. I'm in touch with a bear expert who has worked in communities such as ours that have bear problems, both black bears and grizzly bears. I lived out west for 30 years as well. And in talking to him, I'll probably mention some things tonight that we probably already know. We know that education is key. We know that, but we have to really drive it home. We have to have a consistent message, and it has to be long term. This situation with our bears isn't going to go away overnight. It's not going to go away this year, and it's not going to go away next year. One of the things that we talked about, and Bonnie mentioned it in her opening, was rather than calling them the bears, we need to call them our bears. It's our community. And I think if we take ownership in the wildlife, if we take pride in having the wildlife in our community, that has a tendency to spread in a positive way. So I think part of the education process, whether it be banners or we've talked about bumper stickers, Old Forge, don't feed our bears. Old Forge, don't feed our wildlife. I think if we can take some ownership in that, it will spread. And we know that we live in a community with a lot of tourism. The bear guy that I talked to works in communities where there is a lot of tourism. And things like bumper stickers, stickers for kids, get the kids engaged, because quite frankly, the parents sometimes are useless. Now, I'm a parent, so I know. But if we can get the kids engaged and say, no, Mom, no, Dad, this isn't what we're supposed to do. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. We've got to do things that are positive and moving forward. Campaigns like, tables set up at the farmer's market, tables set up at space where we've got hundreds of people coming in there to hand out flyers, to hand out brochures, just to get the word out consistently and constantly that we can't keep doing this. If we keep killing bears. That's not the solution. The bears are going to continue to come and nothing's going to be done. We're just going to keep losing bears. We've lost, I think, 10 bears in 2 years. 5 of them have been cubs. 5 cubs were unnecessary. We're working on other things besides the education piece to hopefully mitigate some of that. But right now, some of the solutions that we want to talk about are what I mentioned here tonight. The educational piece is huge. I think there's a community-wide effort in other communities called Bear Smart communities, Bear Wise communities. You can go online and get PowerPoints of what has worked in these communities, what has not worked in these communities. People have gone through great lengths to put together presentations that work in their communities. Not everything that works in Mammoth Lakes, California is going to work in Old Forge, New York, but let's get a gathering of all of these ideas from all of these mountain towns where tourism is heavy and bears are heavy, and collaborate and see what we can do to move forward. Shooting them isn't the answer. Shooting them is not the answer. We can't keep killing these bears. They're going to be replaced with other bears, and we have to learn to coexist. Another possibility, and I know that there's going to be some expense to this, is containers. If we can talk to our DPW or the people that pick up our waste and find out what they can accommodate in their vehicles with bear-proof containers. And if people can't afford them, there's grants that can be written to help subsidize some of the cost for that. Again, it's all in bear maintenance, bear management, bear preventiveness. There's things that we have, and I don't know about this, if this would work or not, but we have food sources around town like apple trees, fruit trees. I know that some have been dedicated to certain people here in Old Forge. I'm wondering what the possibilities are of uprooting those and planting them somewhere else. Don't cut them down, don't get rid of them. Just put them somewhere else where there's not going to be bear population coming in so close to town where there's people standing around and hoping to pet a bear, feed a bear, whatever. We just need to look at forward thinking and maybe outside the box type of ideas that can move this forward, because even though we all know nobody in this room pulled the trigger this past weekend, okay? But it's a black eye on all of us because we all did it. And we have to do something to move this in the right direction. And I firmly believe that as a group, we can pull this together so that it's a win-win for the community, for the tourists, and most importantly, for the bears. That's pretty much all I've got.
Thank you.
I wrote a book, and it's a bestseller, and it's called What the Bear Knows. So if you want to go on Amazon or Google or whatever, you can pick that up too. It's I've already ordered mine, and it's good. It's a good read.
Thanks, Don.
I don't know if you have any questions or.
Great job, Don.
All right, I gotta go get
Go
a
rescue that loon.
Thank you very much, Don. Thank you.
All right, next, the board went to bid last month for the chalet deck at Macaulay Mountain. Bids were due to the town clerk on or before August 13th at 3 p.m. Bids were open today at 3 p.m. We received 3 bids as follows. Pike Construction Services, $344,000. Shoemaker Construction LLC, $247,600. And BB Construction, $191,300. These 3 bids were reviewed by the engineer Zangrelli. Do we have a motion to accept BB as the low bidder for Macaulay with a bid of $191,300?
I'll make a motion that we accept that bid.
Mike, second.
I'll second it.
Ben, board discussion?
Well, it's a lot better than the initial one there. And we're moving forward.
All right, thank you. Would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Elm Street, I see there's some residents of Elm Street here. The town board has been approached by a number of residents who live along Elm Street. They have voiced a desire to donate Elm Street to the town to become a town highway. It is currently a private road. The first step in any such process is to identify the owner or owners of the real property with certainty. The simplest and most effective way to do this is to contact an abstracting title insurance company to perform a search and issue a current owner opinion. The town attorney advises that the town not accept any donation of real property without such a search and a policy of title insurance. That is one step in the process of a private road becoming a town highway. Since the residents are asking to make the donation, they should arrange and obtain the search and title policy to make sure all the owners are agreeable to the donation. Macaulay Mountain manager, the town board has received a letter of intent to retire from Macaulay Mountain manager Steve Eustervenus. The supervisor would like to advertise for this position. The advertisement would be locally with NYSSRA and any other platform of skiing. Do I have a nod from the board to do an advertisement for this position?
Just a nod.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you. Police chief, the Herkimer County Civil Service list has been canvassed. The supervisor would like to advertise for this position. The advertisement will be local and in several New York State papers. Do I have a nod to advertise for the chief of police position?
Yep.
Thank you. Macaulay Mountain chairs. Do I have a motion that the town of Webb Town Board declare 84 Hall fixed grip double chairlift chairs surplus and will sell them on Auctions International site with a starting bid of $850 apiece? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for that.
Tommy, sorry. And second,
So I'll second it.
Mike, board discussion?
So yes, I would like to ask where did we come up with the $850 a piece?
They go, and they range anywhere from 700 to 1,500 and looking at different sites. So we thought 850 was a good start. But you can change it if you wish.
What about selling them locally?
I'm in favor of going to Auctions International and making local people go there to get them. But you guys, that's my opinion.
What's the fee of Auctions International?
They keep a percentage, but I don't. This was a suggestion from our lawyer to just make it fair for everybody, everything go on the site.
You have to find a way to designate what local means too. I mean, there's a lot of people that visit the mountain and would want a chairlift that don't have.
I mean, you could do a lottery, but that's, a lot of work.
It'd be a heck of a thing to really
You
dive
know what
in.
I mean? To dedicate, yeah.
I know there's been a lot of talk back and forth of how to deal with these chairs. And it has been interesting on trying to figure out how to do it.
You could, I mean, you could make an event out of it and have an auctioneer or somebody come to the mountain, and it would maybe something that could help supplement some of the issues we have in the winter with things going on where you could auction them off to people. Bobby could stand up there and, that's my only suggestion versus, have people pick and choose how they could come and get them. That wouldn't be good. So you'd probably make a lot more money that way too, because I think maybe it's also, how many, 84 of them?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good with either way. Might be something that would be a little rich in history with them, I guess. It might mean a lot to the people that visit the mountain. Might be a cool way of doing it. And then transport is another thing too with these.
Right, and storing them until we can auction them off right now, because right now we're in a bind up there with space. And
Where are they right now?
they're at the bottom of the chairlift.
So they would have to be,
Move to the upper parking lot.
maybe if you got closer to the chairlift being finished or something, you could open the gate and allow people to come up there to see the chairlift and throw this event or something. It's just you know, maybe the CA could be involved or.
Right. You couldn't do
Just
it
an idea.
till
Yeah, you'd want to do
later
it
on,
during
like
the,
after all this stuff happens. It's gonna be a while if we do that. I don't know if there's a hurry for it or not, but would be nice to get them out of the way, I guess.
then that would satisfy your local part of it, but given the option to locals, just on the word of mouth, probably wouldn't be a possible thing.
How do you, okay, one quick question. How do we make sure that everybody knows that this is, when it's going on, when you can do it, all that kind of stuff? But we need that to be loud and clear so that people that might want one can go, get one.
Maybe on Facebook, and we can advertise, we could do ads for it. We're not doing it right, you know, we don't have to do it right away, we can give time to get it out.
So that everybody gets the
Put
word.
a- And
Because
put a
that-
future date on it.
It's another one of those weird things too, where you want to make some money for the town by selling them, but if you put these up, who knows if there's some like chairlift memorabilia guy in Wyoming or something that just will pay anything for these and nobody gets them. You know? Which, again, we'd make more money on them, but there might be some people that around here that would miss out. I don't know, maybe sit on it.
I'd like to make a motion to give away a couple of them to people.
We already have one, let's finish this one.
We gotta finish this motion.
But it's a good discussion. I mean, I don't really want to jump until we've all spoke.
All right, so you want to take, what are we doing here?
I know what you're saying, Ben,
Maybe we
about
can table
there's
it.
certain people that might, but determining that makes it very difficult. That really throws
Just tell me when.
a wrench in it, as far as I'm concerned.
As far as,
If you
Tommy, you
try
give
to,
your motion up.
You want to,
Rescind your motion?
Yeah, so I guess I'd rescind my motion to, what is it?
All right,
Put these, sell these as surplus on Auction International.
yep, you want to table this for now?
Table it and see if we can.
All right, sounds good, let's table it.
look into it some more.
Do I need a motion to table it, or just table it? I'd like a motion to table the selling of the chairlift.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Thank you, second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
A budget adjustment, short-term rentals, a motion. And the reason we're doing this again is because the money hadn't been transferred. The 2024 budget be amended by increasing line number 8010.45, short-term rental, and decreasing 2401 interest and earnings line for $22,735.36. This action is to pay GovOS for short-term rental software. Do I have a motion?
so moved.
Mike, second.
I'll second it.
Ben, any board discussion?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Hannah,
Aye.
Councilman Greco,
Aye.
Councilman Ross.
Aye.
Supervisor Baker,
Aye.
ayes.
Fireworks, the clerk received a request for a firework permit from Judy Goria, 582 Hollywood Road, for a firework display. August 17th, 2024, approximately 9:15 PM. Specialty Fireworks Incorporated are discharging the fireworks on a floating barge in front of 582 Hollywood Road. Insurance has been received. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Ben, second.
Second it.
Mike, board discussion.
It's been asked for before.
Yeah.
Not that that makes it right, but
I have something to say. I will be voting no on this tonight because I don't believe that we should have fireworks 15 times a year in the town of Webb. So that's my thought on that. Want to do a roll call vote, please,
I'm,
Nancy? Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, if I could, I mean, we're sitting up here talking about wildlife issues, and we live in the Adirondack Park, and, you know,
Mhm.
the mountains, all these things that are going on. I've heard a story about dogs, you know.
Yep.
Strand over here, their dog has been the same since the July 4th fireworks. So, I mean, I'm kind of going down that same road. How can, I mean, if we're gonna have them for the 4th, celebrate, that's great, but we just keep allowing.
I love fireworks, one time a year, 4th of July. And I think when we're doing it 15 times a year for every time you turn around, you're right, it's hurting the wildlife, it's hurting our pets, PTSD and veterans. I mean, it goes on and on.
yeah, We don't do it 15 times, but.
Well, almost.
I mean, is this for a personal show or for?
Personal show.
Personal. I don't, they didn't tell me why, just, doesn't say why, just an event.
Would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Hannah?
Nay.
Councilman Greco?
Oh, nay.
Councilman Ross?
I'll throw a curveball. Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Nay. A resolution scheduling a public hearing on local law number blank of 2024 prohibiting feeding and harassment of wild animals. Now I'm gonna read it. Thank you. In 28/9/2022, I tried to pass this and it did not even go to a second motion to even be discussed. So we'll see where we get tonight. Whereas the town board finds it necessary to protect the residents and the visitors of the town of Webb and to preserve and protect those wild animals that come into contact with humans within the town. And whereas the feeding and harassment of our wild animals by humans with certain specific exceptions, with certain specific exceptions, results in harm to the animals and creates a dangerous situation for the humans involved. And whereas proposed local law number blank of 2024, creating a new chapter 164 of the town code of the town of Webb has been prepared, which would accomplish this. And whereas under the New York State town law, no local law may be passed without a public hearing until a public hearing has been held. Now therefore be it resolved that the town Webb Town Board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the Town Visitor Information Center, 3140 State Route 28, Old Forge at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, to consider proposed local law number blank of 2024, creating the new chapter 164 of the town code of the town of Webb, and to hear all interested persons, and at that time may take any other actions authorized by law concerning the proposed local law. And it be further resolved that the town board authorizes and directs the Webb town clerk to publish a notice of public hearing concerning the proposed local law in the manner provided by law. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Ben, second.
I'll second it.
Mike, board discussion.
Yeah, you're right, it's been brought up many years, many times, a lot of feeding the animals.
I think it's a step in the right direction of saying that we're going to be proactive on what's going on in our community when it comes to our wildlife.
Well, there's a lot of safety concerns, especially on the roads and people parked,
Wasn't there?
feeding.
What's
I
that?
thought, wasn't it a law that if you're feeding beer, I think it was more,
It's a state law.
right,
But until you have a local law, the state won't come in and help us. DEC won't come in and help us with ticketing until we have a
Oh, so
local
only-
law.
our local guys could put tickets out for it, right?
We don't have a local law, so they're not gonna give out state tickets.
He did that. The DEC could,
Correct.
'cause they're above and beyond the state.
We didn't have a law on that, Nancy?
What?
The feeding of the,
New York State law's got something on the books. We used to have a big sign by the health center.
yeah, we had that big promotion that was.
I think, isn't that what
a
came up the
fed
last time?
Bear is a dead bear and all that stuff that we did.
Well, that's kind of across the whole
Right,
state.
right.
State.
But I think what came up last time was our local police enforcement wasn't trying to enforce it because it was a
It's a state law.
DEC law,
It's a
state law or
DEC
something.
state law, but if we make it a town law, then they can go right over to the court over here for their ticketing. So if we
That's where
pass
the
it, then the
difference
next
is.
is to enforce it.
Can also lead to, would it help too with the DEC, like, you know, taking them down too? Like
I
we
think
could
they'll be more
probably-
proactive.
Maybe
I
there's
mean,
other ways we
Steve-
can,
Sure, Steve Higgins sat here that day and said, you really need a local law. And they'll be more active up here if there is a local law.
Can I ask?
They know that we are having these issues too, so.
So I don't remember how long ago it was. They were, and I know they walked in my store and said I was gonna receive a ticket for feeding animals within 300 feet of a road because they got into my dumpster.
Yes, they do that. They come and do dumpsters,
So,
garbage, all that.
Isn't that,
That's not a local feeding of the wild, no. You weren't feeding it. You weren't securing your dumpster.
but a bunch of people got,
I think the town even got told that we had a,
Yes.
because of our,
yes.
Mhm.
Because the dumpsters weren't, they were wooden built by the town, and they weren't sufficient enough.
Weren't properly
Versus
secured,
those,
right?
yeah, those steel barrier ones, that's why the town got those steel barrier ones, I believe.
Any more board discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye, thank you.
5 ayes.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough. CO Falter Construction Company, a motion due to the unanticipated groundwater conditions and delivery delays with the specific headworks equipment in our wastewater treatment plant. CO Falter Construction Corporation is requesting a 90-day extension to the submittal final project completion dates. This will allow CO Falter to complete the remaining work associated with the headworks. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Board discussion?
I definitely will speak out on this. This doesn't cost the town any money. This was just, and this isn't a part of, when we had to have this by a certain date. This is just for the headworks. I've been down there. They have had big trouble with water coming in where they have to dig way down to do this project. Water's been coming in, making a big mess. It's been very difficult for them. They finally got wells and pumps to get it out of there. It just takes time, so they're doing fine, but it's not costing us more money. It's just taking more time.
Thank you.
Pretty simple. And they're doing a good job. So.
Any other discussion? Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
4 ayes.
ESCA board members Jane Slack and Dan Rivet, along with employee Laura Cooper, is asking the town board for an additional $8,000 in the year 2024 to allow for additional training for staffing issues. This money will allow Laura Cooper to be a certified trainer, as there's no training available for HASCA at this time. We have local residents who want to be trained, but we don't have a trainer. So if we can get her certified to be a trainer, with this money, she'll be able to fulfill that, to allow HASCA to conduct their own training. So I think it's very important. Board discussion, or excuse me, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Now board discussion.
Is it the year 2024?
Yes, this year.
That's this year.
They're asking for additional 8 this
Where are
year.
you thinking that might come from?
We'll probably take it out of the contingency for that. It's something that wasn't anticipated, and I think it's important they get their training so that we can have what we need.
I agree. HASCA's, personally, I think HASCA's very, very important. I'm not questioning that. Just a question.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So,
the only place we could take it is that contingency. Any other board discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Hannah?
aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye, thank you. Now we're on to board discussion. Councilman Hannah, would you like to start this evening?
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming tonight. progress at Macaulay is going well with some minor hiccups that I'm glad we worked out in the first week of construction. To everyone that is here and the people that will be watching this, please help spread the word out that Macaulay is closed to keep people off for your safety and for the safety of the construction workers and to keep progress moving forward. We will be back to normal next year, bigger and stronger. Still want to thank Kurt Gardner and Brian Bamberger for the work that they did with the new lift. We wouldn't be here right now if they didn't get the ball rolling on this project. I'd like to thank Bonnie on all her hard work on trying to get the infrastructure of the town of Webb back up to speed, and all the town employees. You're the backbone of our team, and the 5 of us up here wouldn't be able to do all this without you. And, well, I guess I'll talk about that later, guys, about the chairs. Different time. So, that's all I got.
Councilman Greco?
I guess with the whole, bear thing over here, I just don't think it's the best way to go about it to throw blame around so much and get so frustrated with tourism, locals, and all that stuff. I think Don Andrews, that was here earlier, he's been around this community for a few years now, for a long time, but he's been a little more active around here. He's got a lot of good stuff to say. He's got a lot of good knowledge on this stuff, and I think we should sure follow his lead with what he's saying up there. I think it's important to understand, like, when bears make it to like the center of your town, it's kind of difficult to do anything more from there. I think it's up to us as locals to try and do a better job of keeping them, somewhere else. I mean, we are at the foot of a mountain. It's not easy to do. So I'd just like to see us come together a little more. I know, tourists make some knucklehead moves. There's a lot of locals that do the same, and it's tough for us to just start throwing blame out at tourists so much when we get opportunities. I'm not talking about anybody in general. I'm just saying, that is our only economic force here. And I just can't stress that enough. I know I've said that a few times, but we don't really have anything without that towards our economy. I just hope we keep that in mind. Which brings me to the next couple of things. Bonnie formed a committee for the hockey, where we can place like not hockey, an ice skating rink, and we had a really great meeting at the end of July. Went really well. Location. We talked about what the cost might be, where it might go, what it might take. There's a lot of stuff that's going into that, and I feel like we're going to do the homework to make sure that it's cost effective, and we take everything under consideration, because with the climate and everything, it's getting harder and harder to keep those things going without those chillers, and those chillers and all that stuff are expensive. And then I also think in my head too, with the tourism stuff that makes us go around here, it's getting harder and harder for us to keep going when it comes to the housing issues. Like, how many more things can we do? Bring in more tourism and more events and stuff to keep our economy going without having people living here. And I know it's tough for a lot of people to look at, because a lot of us have homes, a lot of us have apartments. But when you're out there and you're doing some providing for housing and jobs and stuff, you see good people leave, very often, and it's getting tougher and tougher to watch. I'll go into that pro housing thing that I've been talking about quick. It might take a minute here, but I talked with Eddie Watt. He's out of Canajoharie, one of the first communities in the Mohawk Valley to go pro housing. I just wanted to make a couple points here with us and getting that designation. Bonnie already sent them that letter of intent to see it through there. Talked to the codes office. They're ready to see what it might take for us to do that. Pro housing does not mean like, Section 8 housing, affordable housing, government housing comes in. It's none of that. It just qualifies us for some grants such as the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, the New York Forward Program, Regional Council Capital Fund, Market New York Program, New York State Main Street Program, just a lot of these things in the future. And then as more programs come along, we are on the table there to qualify for those grants. It's stuff like infrastructure, water, sewer, things of that nature. It doesn't mean like we're bringing in a housing project. We all know how that went last time, okay? In order to qualify for this, we have to show some things like we are trying to move in the right direction by upping our housing with like showing our codes office. That's why they're involved with the permits. So one of the things we have to do is, municipalities can apply for certification based on successful support for housing growth in the past, or stating a commitment to addressing slow housing growth moving forward, meaning like we can show that we're growing a little bit over the past 3 years by 1%, I believe, in upstate New York, or we can simply make a resolution, which they provide for you, to say that you want to become a pro-housing community. When we do that, it doesn't mean that like we're just gonna, there's just a lot of rumors out there, like, they're gonna send immigrants up here and the government housing is going to take over. It's not what it means. It's just going to qualify us for these grants. I can't stress that enough. So those are the two ways that you would get into it. With the permits, increasing our housing stock by 1% over the past 3 years. That's why the codes office needs to provide that in an Excel sheet. So I did look into those two things we needed to do. Eddie was a lot of help with that. He gave me a link to look up and get some information. And then again, you can just do that resolution that would designate us there. The submission requirements are, we got to show a zoning map, a zoning code summary, and a housing planning and building permit information from prior 5 years. Then we'd have to recertify every year to keep that designation of pro housing, which again would lead to so much help with grants. One of the things I want to stress here with that is, out of the entire New York State, out of the regions such as Capital Region, Mid-Hudson, Southern Tier, Western New York, Mohawk Valley, Finger Lakes, Long Island, North Country. Those are the regions that they identified in the state of New York. The North Country has the most communities that have applied for this. So, some of which we're familiar with nearby: Constableville, Lowellville Town, Lowellville Village, Minerva, Newcomb, Tupper Lake Town, Tupper Lake Village. These are neighbors that are doing this. And I think the reason, I don't have anything to back this up, but I think the reason that 17 North Country communities, the most applied for of any region, is because us up in the North Country are the ones that need the most help and have the least amount of resources. So I think it would be beneficial for us to kind of follow the lead of other communities, and really try and just designate this. It means nothing. We still have to apply for grants. We still have to do all sorts of stuff. We still have to approve anything that comes in. It doesn't mean anything besides checking a box for the government to hand out some money. That's literally it. And I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And
where are we at with that then?
We've got
to be done.
Yeah, so I kind of said it real quick there. Bonnie's letter of intent, which she submitted already, it actually shows in the system pending. So we come up when you search us, we are showing pending, which is better than most communities. And then after that, you have to give our codes office, or it doesn't need to be our codes office too. Like they can provide the information and we can get help from other people. This fellow I talked to would be more than happy to help. He's offered to come up here to speak to us. He's offered to be a part of it as well.
If we're gonna go through with that, that sounds to me like that's the way to get it done, is have somebody dig into it.
So you just need to show with your building permits, basically, that 1% over the past 3 years, we've increased our housing stock. That's one qualification. And then we've got to submit the zoning map, which I'm sure we have on file somewhere. The zoning code summary, which I'm sure that we have that too, and the housing planning and building permit information from prior 5 years. I spoke with Connie over at the codes office about this, and they're ready to tackle it. They just need more direction. they're a little confused on what is exactly offered, so that's why I reached out to this Eddie Walk. I've been talking about this for a few meetings now, and that's really all we need to do. And if we don't show that we've gone up 1%, which I think we will, then we can just simply make a resolution, and then, which is included in this whole thing too, so.
So is there a deadline?
There's a deadline to like apply for one of the grants that just passed in July 31st, but it's gonna be reoccurring, year in and year out.
Okay.
And then
To get certified.
we get certified, and then you keep the information with them, and as more and more things come, we'll be right at the top of the list here to get these, this money here. I mean, Tupper Lake is doing pretty well up there right now. I don't know if anybody's familiar with up there, but they're getting money left and right. They seem to got it pretty well put together. Louisville, I think, is doing the same. So, just something for us to think about. I mean, there's a resolution in here, but I think we should, get the application done instead of doing that.
So is this guy somebody you hire, or he's willing to do it?
This is just one of those people, man, that's out there doing good. I got connected with him through Mohawk Valley MVED there, and he's in the Village of Canajoharie board. They were the first town, and even in here, he talks about how busy he is. He's a school teacher, and he's going to be filling out their DRI, which is that downtown revitalization initiative where they could qualify for, just millions of dollars. So he's filling that out for his community, and he said he'd be willing to come talk to us about what this actually means. Just
I'm
wanted
willing to
to,
listen. I mean, I'm asking all these questions because this has been more of, I got other projects going on, but so.
yeah,
Thanks for filling me in.
yeah, that's all. You guys asked for some more information. I think we all did, and I wanted to get some more for the codes.
And there is a
I understood
website that
Andy
you
was
can
moving
look up
forward.
and see what the other counties or what other townships have done. To step forward to put through. I looked at what Herkimer did, and they put together pretty good proposal and everything. So
Yeah.
I would be willing if this guy's interested in talking to us. Absolutely, right?
You actually wanted to call in tonight, and I was just a little worried about, the other stuff we had going on here and some other things. So it's not quite that pressing, but we can maybe do something on a Monday or Tuesday meeting, whatever.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have any?
I'm just curious to see if there was any more meetings with the snowmobile committee that we've got going on there. If we had any just information to share, maybe there's a direction we have. I don't know who that's Kyle, or no, Kyle is due to now, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I see Inlet's there's not a representative from there here, and I won't be able to attend their meeting tomorrow, so I just didn't know if there was anything with those guys.
So, yes, we met with them. We have Herb wrote up basically a proposal that their attorney is looking at, and I don't know if I can mention it at this point, we were going to discuss it tonight in an executive session on that and where we go with it as a board,
Okay.
because this is a contract that seems to be moving slow, but that's the way it is. We've met, we've talked, we've got some points that we're just discussing, and
That's great. Yeah.
it's good.
I'm looking forward.
they might have some
more.
more answers tomorrow night in their meeting. I'm not sure, because we haven't heard back from them on their end, so.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Councilman Ross, you're up.
Okay, I guess I'll start with the interesting one. As everybody, or most people know, I had some friends of mine that planted a Christmas tree out on the Point property. And I have mentioned in the meetings that it's small, but it will grow. The question was brought up, though, when it comes time to light the Christmas tree. And this is for the board to discuss, or whatever you guys want to do. I don't care which way it goes. Do we go back to putting a cut-down tree that's bigger, for a bigger display for this year and possibly next year? Or do we light that one and be happy? I don't know how everybody feels,
Want me to
and I don't
start?
care.
Want me to start?
Yep.
I think we bang that tree up that we have, our little beautiful Christmas tree, and we put all kinds of lights in Point Park to make it
Yeah.
beautiful.
And light the whole damn
And I
park
think
up.
that we light our tree up with,
Maybe,
See it from-
maybe put a couple more around there in stands.
yeah, to
Just make it a
make it look a little,
little bit.
but I really like the idea of our tree.
We don't need another cut down.
Okay, perfect. It was asked.
Okay, sounds good.
I already gave an update on the sewer plant. That's going great. Everything's working good. We're in good shape there. Ben and I did meet with Mike Farmer, our tourism director, and Judy Lonergan the other day, just for information meeting on basically advertising, how it's going, how the CAA and the town can kind of work together a little bit more on a lot of the social media, things like that. I think the meeting went well. I don't know if you want to comment on it.
No, I think
we learned a
it went
lot. So did Judy. Judy learned a lot. So it went well. Thanks, Mike. Other than that, good.
All right, I have a little bit. I have a letter from Hannah Wheaton, our recreation manager, your town of Webb board and town of Webb community. The recreation department would like to thank the DPW for their work in refreshing up the Big Moose tennis courts. We would like to send a special thank you to Sally Gangle, Lauren Beach, and Susie Wicks for their time and efforts in lining the pickleball court for the Big Moose community. We aim to improve the court next year with a portable pickleball net and update signage. In addition, the Recreation Department would like to express gratitude to our hardworking summer camp staff for another great camp program. The program was complete with 7 counselors, 1 director, and 50 campers. During the program, campers participated in team building activities and created community pieces many of you may have seen on your way in to tonight's meeting. If not, be sure to take a look to our painted rock snakes that line the sidewalk named Ruth and Rake as you exit the building. Throughout the 4-week program, campers traveled to local favorite spots such as Nutty Putty, The Strand, Moose River Farms, and View. We couldn't have had trips like these without the partnership with the town of Webb School for their assistance with transportation. We look forward to this program every year. With just a few weeks left in the summer season, our Explorer Club has hiked over 10 miles of nature trails, including working towards their completion of the Trifecta Patch. This program wouldn't exist without our group leader, Carol Perkins. It's safe to say we may have some future 46ers in the works. As we transition into the fall season, we look forward to announcing our program schedules, upcoming registrations. Some of these programs are of the following: pickleball, Pilates, martial arts, adult basketball, and new programs coming soon. The Recreation Department couldn't do any of this without our dedicated program instructors and the support of the entire community. Thank you, and best, Recreation Manager Hannah Wheaton. She's doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
I have a call into BCA Associates concerning the Hollywood Hills area. They're going to get back to me later this week in reference to an engineering study on the area. We're having drainage and erosion issues in that area. Thank you to all the town employees. We're getting compliments all over town about how beautiful it looks and how wonderful the departments are doing. And I mean, every department is getting a compliment, so thank you. Macaulay Mountain staff, thank you for what you're doing to make the Chairlick project happen. It's been a challenge, but it's moving along smoothly, and the weather is looking good through Friday this week, so that will help with what's going on up there. I had to piggyback off the Bears. Don has some great ideas about educating the children, getting patches on learning different stuff about our wildlife, and I think it really is to educate. I don't think it has anything to do with, people are very excited about seeing the Bears. They're so excited about getting pictures. And I understand that. It's, you know, when you see a ram out in Colorado, you're like, wow, that's really cool. But I just think they need to be educated a little more. I think if we just get more information out there to educate, and I think John's gonna help us with that in the next year.
So if we ever, and to go into that again, it's been brought up and said into my head a little bit with the apple trees. You know, it seems like that's like a center spot for, there's one on school property somewhere, right? And then the tree by the public restrooms there.
Should put them up at the old landfill.
I wonder, you know, if relocating those trees is something in the mix or anything like that. That's considered a food. When I talked to Don earlier tonight, that's considered a food source, just like a dumpster. Find that dump the back door, you know, I mean.
All I gotta say is watch out for that lightning bolt from Ernie Cashua coming down again.
Well, here's what I gotta say to that, though.
I know.
Be afraid.
Ernie Cash would be behind the public restrooms or up by like Macaulay or something,
Macaulay.
you know?
I'm calling.
Well,
Yeah.
and we should look into planting other trees out on town property,
Yeah.
keep them out of town, because, I mean, the bears do not want to be here. The
They'd
problem
rather
is,
eat apples at the old landfill.
why they're coming in is because of the lack of food this summer, because of all the rain. And there's not that many berries out there. So that just drives them into town. So we can do more as far as, and people that have property outside town, if you guys want to put up apple trees, have them in your house. Another thought.
We got some big apple trees in town.
I mean, it's always been.
That is a good idea to move
It's
the
always
apple
been a
trees.
spot
Are
where
you
the
done
issue
now?
Nope.
hangs over the road.
I had one more thing.
So do I.
Mike Farmer, thank you very much for your help the other day on Saturday. You really helped a lot. Thank you.
Another thing, I know Ben touched on this, and I do think it's very important. I know that a lot of people want to know what's going on at Macaulay and want to see this chairlift going in and the helicopters and all that stuff. But it's really, really important that we stay away from that property. There's been talk, I don't know where it's going, of trying to live stream when this all goes on so that people can watch it without having to be standing there watching it. We're really concerned about people trying to get into that property and get in the way, and we can't let that happen because the contractor told us right flat out that if that happens, he's out of there. And this is very important that can't happen. So just put the word out that this
Watch
is
from afar.
right. We'll try to
Live
make sure
feed
that
would be
somebody
great.
Yeah, but do you want, these guys are working up there, you know? Do you want to
I don't know. I
live
just
feed on them? That's just like.
No, I don't mean every day. I mean when these helicopters.
Jeez, if
There's
you
a
guys try to do a
helicopter.
project on 28 before,
not
let them know to
just
live
helicopter.
feed.
Just when the helicopter's flying,
Oh,
and
okay.
setting the tower.
No, not every day. No.
Oh,
We
okay,
we
okay.
discussed that. We discussed that with
Guys
Jason.
picking his nose
Right
over
there.
there.
Right.
And he was fine with it, because that would help keep people from going up there.
It's just a curiosity. I mean, I'd love to be standing there watching it. Believe me, it would be great. I've never seen it, so but
You might be man in the gate.
just want to put it out there because I do think it's very important.
We do got it. You've done a nice job. I think Chris has been putting those posts out up there, right? Like it should be known, like this stinks, you know, that the mountain bikes just got shut down.
Not fully shut down.
Well,
Just Macaulay.
up Macaulay, you know, the chairlift is not going to be active for the fall. I mean, these are things that it can really, really not be too great here. And I think if we just keep relaying the message that we need to get this done and we need to make this happen in order for the mountain
Back on track.
to sustain is important here, so people come back.
Everything will be back to normal next year.
You guys all right? Move on to Nancy. Town clerk, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yeah. We have junk days coming up, September 7th and 8th, it's Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 4. Bring your junk. That's it. Junk days.
We're gonna go to members of assembly. Anyone? Yes, sir, please state your name.
Bob Uriel. I like the auction idea of the chairlifts. Maybe I know it's a ways out, but Winter Carnival over the past few years has faded. Maybe tie it in the auction in with Winter Carnival and draw some life into that.
Yeah.
It's fading, but you know, it needs some life brought into it.
I mean,
I think that's a great idea.
the auction up in Racket Lake is like the best event they have all year, and they're auctioning off like socks and stuff.
$90.
It's fantastic though. It's great. Yeah. So, I mean, think about what kind of event this would be, and
Yeah.
what a way to bring the community together too. I mean, if they're already up there too, you know, if they're put in a spot where you could move the podium there. And
Then can you explain the difference between the law you proposed and what is out there for that 300 feet from the road with the bear? I know there was a law or something in, because they threatened us with tickets for feeding the animals within 300 feet of the road because of a dumpster. They said it didn't matter that it was a dumpster, that it was just feeding. So does that rule, is that law or exists that it's 300 feet from the road? Then isn't all this already covered?
It's a New York state law.
So we can't enforce that, or that's where I'm
We do
confused.
enforce the garbage.
Yeah,
We need a wildlife feeding, like here I'm feeding you a cracker.
well, I thought it
We
came
need that.
from 100 years when McDonald's and
No.
they were feeding
No, we've never.
McDonald's
Never.
fries.
How's that gonna be enforced?
That's our second step, enforcement. We just have to get this in place first and then we'll enforce.
That's always the big question.
Yes, please state your name.
Let me get this,
Please state your name.
Lisa Bolt.
Thank you.
Everybody knows. Sorry. So let me get this straight. So we have a state law that enforces garbage and dumpsters and wildlife. Like, don't feed the bears, don't feed the wildlife. So DEC can give those tickets, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so town of Webb has an ordinance that is just for dumpsters and garbage.
And normally when that happens, we call the DEC. We do not call the local police force.
Okay, so when all this went down on Saturday and Sunday, my question is, if locally we couldn't enforce it, why didn't the DEC, who was out there shooting these bears, enforce the public and the people?
They weren't
I have a
there.
huge problem with it.
I know. We called how many times, Mike, the other day? 4 phone calls while Mike and I were at the apple tree.
DEC or local police?
DEC.
Okay.
Can we keep them out of here?
I
Not as long as everybody keeps posting all over Facebook where the bears are. Because it takes, everybody goes, oh, the bears are over here.
agree.
I had it happen tonight at Maple Ridge at 5:30.
But if they're supposed to enforce the law, and I'm not talking about our officers, I'm talking about them, their state. Why, what went so wrong that they didn't do anything?
They don't have enough officers just like us. Every state agency is shorthanded right now.
It's easier.
And
That's-
just dump them out.
We used to.
Governor Hochul took away the funding for
So redirect me because I'm getting
Rebid.
letters for Albany. I need to know what direction I need to go to get more funding for the DEC to not murder these bears.
I think a good source would be Kurt Gardner and Don Andrews that was just here to talk to as well, Lisa.
Okay.
They're doing a lot of research right now.
Because there is a lot of research that I have gotten
Mhm.
from someone that it clearly states in the DEC manual that baby cubs should not be killed or euthanized. They shouldn't be shot with a tranquilizer at under 30 pounds. The mother should not be killed. The likelihood of a bear attack is probably low. My cat is more vicious than that bear was. I mean, just feel it's senseless, and I feel like, not just you, I'm not pointing fingers at you guys, by the way.
I feel the same way you do.
What direction I need to go to get more funding for these bears not to be murdered.
Go to Albany.
I,
They are not following. DEP
Go to Albany.
I think you need to talk to Kurt,
Finding where to go.
Kurt and Donner. Yeah, Don Andrews and Kurt are very good right now with resources.
All right. And this is not an attack on you guys
I know,
at all.
I know, you've been going through this for 10 years.
I witnessed the most, if you all want to see pictures of 2017, it was the most horrific killing of a bear cub, 2 bear cubs, and a mother I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And they threatened to arrest me 3 times. And personally, I really didn't care if I got arrested. Really wasn't afraid of it. But it was, Tim would really like that. But honestly, it was horrific, and it just breaks my heart to see this happen over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying there's not aggressive bears out there that don't have to be euthanized, because I get they do.
I think we're going in the right, I think we're going in the right direction.
I do
I think we're headed that way.
Go forward and be followed through. This is the first step, but I would
Mhm.
like the second step as well.
Yep. Well, that'll be the public hearing, so be here.
Oh, I will be. The bell-
Anybody who wants that, please be here, yes.
Margaret, be willing to-
Kelly Humpkins. I'm still confused about the state law and local law. So like, my good friend Lisa here, if I chose to beat her up, I could get arrested by the town of Webb police. Again, I'm not knocking the town of Webb police by any means. But it is a state law, I shouldn't do that, and they could still arrest me. So I'm confused at why the state law regarding bears does not follow through. Wait.
So there was wording from our former chief of police a few years ago about that, but I don't remember. Do you recall what the wording was? You don't? I don't either. I'd have to look that up.
Would you get back to her on that?
Mhm.
Because I don't want to be beat up.
I'm writing that down.
No, I'm just curious. I'm just trying to understand.
Good question, because I don't understand it either.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
John Khalil.
Yep.
Actually, I'd like to direct my question about Mike and Ben in light of the pending snowmobile agreement. Can we get together sometime, maybe mid-September, and get back on track with discussions prior to the start of the snowmobile season so that everybody can be on the same page of what to expect and try to deal with some of the issues that got put on hold with the pending dispute last spring?
Well, depending on, I guess, depending on how long this process takes, which I don't know, unfortunately, now it's going into town attorneys to figure out this agreement that we're dealing with, or this, whatever you want to call this.
Assuming the agreement's gonna move forward, can we still at least get something on the books? So we're not putting it off?
Okay.
Going into the fall, people are looking to figure out what their plans are gonna be for the winter.
Well, the plans are to, hopefully we have snow and groom trails and snowmobile. I mean, that doesn't change. It hasn't changed since the beginning, in my opinion, but I don't know what you think has changed.
Well, we don't have an answer, obviously, on the contract, so in light of that, well, that's pending. I think it's just having a forward nod from the town that the town does wanna work cooperatively with snowmobilers going into the season. I think that's the key here, and just knowing that there's a game plan in place moving forward, regardless of what the outcome ends up being. If the lawyers come back and say it's not gonna work, then obviously, that we have to go to plan B. But I think more importantly is regardless of the contract, it's having that dialogue with the town and committing to that.
I won't disagree with that, but like I said, it's been, how I wanna, as you know, what went on here is, yes, we started the process by sending the money that, whatever. We went back and we solved that.
Let's not make it a contract.
I want to tell you, because the curveball that happened is when they said they were going to go free. That now this changed
That's got
the
nothing to
dynamic.
do with what I'm requesting. I
Well,
wanna talk about how we can
but you're
move forward.
saying after we finish this
I
contract,
said in light of what's pending, let's talk about how we can move forward.
okay, and that is,
I think John wants to have
I mean,
a meeting with you guys
Yeah, we'll
regardless
have
of what's
yeah,
going
we'll have a
on
meeting,
in
just,
September.
you know,
And let's just start game planning, and let's go into this, lean into the yes here, be positive about it, regardless of whatever the outcome is of the agreement.
okay.
Secondly, and I would ask the board this, maybe somebody could direct me, or I'm not sure how we can entertain the discussion, but what can we do to start putting recreational programs in place for the town's winter guests, such as pickleball, cornhole tournaments, things like that as an alternative to our scene, to keep people here potentially in town, so they can maintain some continuity, and stay here and possibly spend some more money here in town, rather than maybe just taking off and saying, okay, you know, I've got to go back to my fitness routine or regiment. I just don't know where to go from here.
so, you know, we've got the CAA and, that rec center down there is pretty open on weekends throughout the winter. We've got Snowdio, we've got the ribbon riders.
Hannah just had that thing that she's putting together, that program.
So like the weekend events, I mean, Judy Lonergan with the CAA, you guys can reach out to her, see if she wants to throw anything else in there. She just added the Hollowed event down there, October 19th.
She's up for any kind of
Yeah, so I mean,
chat with her about it,
I would definitely,
as
cause
far as the rec part goes, but as far as the meeting with you guys in September, I think you should make it happen.
But no problem.
make it happen.
Thank you.
I have no problem with that.
The, December 1st is when the trail is open, right?
Early December.
Early December.
Oh, it's right after hunting season.
Right after hunting season, day after.
Typically right that weekend of snow deal.
Fish. Hopefully we they can figure something out.
what's it, December 9th?
December 9th,
Trails also.
so like, you know, the October meeting is the November meeting, so hopefully we can, yeah, we've got to get something.
Right.
I'd like to just pipe up here, I'd like to parlay off of John's, and I'd really actually like to work at developing a master plan related to the recreational sports snowmobile in this town. And try to highlight or fix some of the problems that way as well. We've done other master plans for other things in this township. I really think that's the appropriate way to handle this. So we can get the concerns of everybody and then come up with a direction moving forward as Mother Nature changes and all the facets we've had to deal with.
Thank you. Yes,
Three things. One, local.
state your name, please.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
If the local law gets put through for the bear control situation and those fines issued, if it's the local law, does the town get to keep money that they can use that to educate people?
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
Could the town reach out to the DEC, which they have more pull than we do, to get the state to put some blinking signs up, don't feed the animals, it's against the law,
Yeah, I asked for that last year. They didn't have the signs available,
okay? Well, never.
We've had them up in the past, I know they.
but I will ask again.
That's what I'm saying, if you went to the DEC and had DEC ask, they got more pull than the town's going to.
Right.
And then the third question is, up on 28, on Crossing Over Trail 5, there was a situation with people putting trailers and driveways and stuff like that.
Yep,
Any developments on that?
the trailer's been removed. Then the one trailer that you saw there that was there for many years has been removed. He was fined for that. And there's another driveway there, but nothing there. Anyone else? Okay. You doing this first, or you going to do what
I
you
think
do?
you gotta go to the audit.
Do I have a motion to pay the audit of claims?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
We're still thinking.
I'll second.
thank you. It was Tommy.
I would
All
like
in
to-
favor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So I would ask that we go into executive session to discuss a possible contract with the town of Inlet and a possible sale of property to MVHS. I need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
We have a second?
An executive session to discuss possible contract with the town of Inlet and a possible sale of property to MVHS.
Is there a second?
Tell us what piece of property that is, Mike?
The health center property, MVHS.
Do we have a second?
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
And we're back.
We are back from executive session. No action was taken, discussion only. I'd like a motion to allow the supervisor to sign the letter of intent for the possible sale of the Town of Webb Professional Office Building to MVHS. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Ben, second.
I'll second it.
Tom? Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion. Adjourn the meeting.
Tom, second.
Second.
Ben, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, guys.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like we did great things tonight.